These watch parties are goated, bro. The first ever watch party, Hayden Deegan's first ever podium. The second ever watch party, Ken Roczen wins a race on a space shuttle. Like, what's going on? What's going to happen next weekend? What up? What up? What's going on? You crazy sons of Mitches. Appreciate you guys coming by as always, man. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Want to go over some takeaways from Indy. But first, right off the rip, I got to give a huge shout out to everybody that was there for the second watch party Saturday night. What an awesome time, man. Crazy turnout. We had like 2,000 people in and out of that thing by the time it was all said and done. Huge shout out to you guys. Make sure you are subscribed and got your bell turned on so that you know when we go live. We're doing a watch party for every single round of this whole entire super duper motocross cycle dirt bike racing series. The whole deal. Everyone will be right here, kicking it, watching it live with some great moto people. So make sure you're set up to know when we go live. But yeah, bro, good old Indy, Lucas Oil Stadium. That place is always so insane. Brian Deegan made a comment about it. It was like that when he was racing 100 years ago. It's just kind of where it's located, you know, in Indy, the Midwest. When that dirt comes in, it's kind of frozen and then it thaws out in a weird way. It turns into this almost jello substance. Gnarly. When I saw the pictures of those triple faces on press day, I was like, oh, that's cool. We're going to lose half the field for the rest of the series tomorrow. That's fun, I guess. Like, what was that, bro? Track was so nuts. Extremely gnarly. Shout out to all those guys. We didn't see anywhere near the amount of carnage that I thought we would see, which just says, it says a lot about the riding level today. And yeah, huge props to everybody that made it through that insane day of racing, really, and made it out alive. Shout out to all those guys. And much like every year, Indy comes down to two things, man: experience and bike skill. And we saw that play out all night long, starting with, all right, the 250s, starting with our boy, Mr. AJ Catanzaro, the big cat, to the main, straight out of the heat, bro. I was so stoked for the guy. That had to be such a huge relief to not have to mess with the LCQ, especially on that track, on that night. Huge shout out to AJ. I tell you guys all the time, but I'm going to tell you again, go support the Moto Academy. Go support everything AJ does, man. Everything he does is so good for the sport. It's so good for the future of the sport. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan. So please, by all means, go support Mr. AJ Catanzaro and all the Moto Academy stuff. You will not regret it. Great content. Awesome stuff. Chris Blose. Where did that come from, bro? But again, experience, man. Experience. Chris has looked very mediocre since Houston, right? He's a great rider, but he's looked pretty mediocre. Bro, he was ripping from qualifying all the way through the night show. I don't think he's quite into race shape, and that showed. He got a really good start, even in the main event, and then kind of faded. But he did end up finishing 6th, partly thanks to Deegs, but he did take 6th. Great night, great day, great weekend at Indy for Chris. Huge shout out to him. Congrats to you. Jeremy Martin, bro, tell me a guy in that 250 class that needed a day like that more than Jeremy. You can't. Simply, you can't. He's been getting beat by our boy, the 238, every weekend. And I've said this before, just as a man that prides yourself on fitness and heart and grit, that has to start getting to you after a while. This kid's a rookie. Yeah, he's an incredible rider, really fast, doing awesome stuff. But that has to, the experience. He's got double Hayden's experience, more than double. So happy for Jeremy. That was awesome to see. He did not get a great start, charged through the pack, got into 4th, and just logged his laps, man. He looked really, really good. Huge shout out to Jeremy. Congratulations on an amazing night. He really needed that, and I was just so happy to see him put it together and get it done. And then Deegs, man, another 5th place ride. That was another 5th place ride on the craziest track he might ever ride on, to be honest. That might have been the worst I have ever seen Indy look. I could be a little prisoner of the moment. That's pretty likely, actually. But I don't remember it being that bad. Bro, that was insane. Insane. The faces on press day looked like it was at the end of the 450 main event on race day. Like, it was just nuts. So huge shout out to Hayden. He made one mistake in what should have been another 5th place ride. Ended up coming in 7th. But bro, Max Anstey has been a very close second to Hunter Lawrence all season long. He could not catch Hayden. Hayden was pulling him the whole moto. Chris Blose started way up front. He had nothing for Hayden. Hayden was pulling him too, the both of them. Huge shout out to Hayden. I thought that was absolutely an incredible ride. I can't even put into words how crucial, how valuable this experience is that he's getting. Now next year, when he goes to Indy, or the next time he goes to Indy, it won't be his first time. It's so huge, man. He's getting all this experience with no expectations, just logging laps and learning. Literally just packing his tool belt with all these things for the future. And the mistake that he made, big whoop. No pun intended, but big whoop. He was trying to skim and he was doing really well. He made one mistake in what? I don't know what they did, 20 plus laps? One mistake. Whatever. He still got 7th place. If you ask 90% of the moto community, they had 7th place being his best finish on a good night. So if that's where you're coming in after going down and having trouble starting the bike and getting going again, yeah, I'd say you're doing all right. So I was really impressed yet again with the 238. He had 5th place speed, which is awesome. For a track like that, we cannot realistically expect anything more. So huge night. Congratulations to Hayden. I think he's going to have a really good day in Detroit. He always bounces back from mistakes like that. Not because of anybody else. He wants it. He wants to right the wrong for him, for nobody but him, which is, I think we're going to see that characteristic, that character trait really benefit him in the future. Jordan Smith and Nate Thrasher. Huge shout out to those boys. 2-star bikes on the podium on a track like that. Again, experience and bike skill. It shined all night long. AJ getting into the main, same idea. Experience and bike skill. Thrasher was ripping. Jordan, man, after qualifying, depending on how the start went, I really thought Jordan had a chance to win that thing. But look, man, and again, before I just skim past them, 2nd and 3rd in 2023 is nothing to sneeze at, nothing to hang your head about, right? The 3 of them were gone on the rest of the field, completely gone. So that says a lot about those guys. They rode incredible. A podium in today's roster is an incredible accomplishment. So congratulations to both those guys. But look, Hunter Lawrence, bro. Guys, we need to be really careful, okay? We need to be really careful that we don't take for granted what we're seeing that 96 and that 18 do right now. We need to be really careful. When somebody is winning every week, and that's all they do, oh, he won again, he won again, he won again. Back it down a second. Try to really soak in what we are watching. That track, with the points lead that he came in with, I think he was 20 up on 2nd, right? Or something like that. Something like that. It would have been so easy. So easy. I'm sure people were probably telling him, back it down. Just get every lap. Don't make any big mistakes. If you get beat tonight, you get beat. No big deal. No. He had 10 seconds on Nate by the end of the moto. Nate and Jordan both said, we were charging. We were riding at 105% and could not even remotely close the gap. They were riding at 105%. Hunter looked like he was riding at 80% and was pulling on them the entire night. It's just amazing. What an incredible season. And when you talk about adversity, you talk about comeback stories, you got to root for Hunter, man. I know we hear the Lawrence name maybe too often. Look, that's debatable. I don't really care about any of that. You can't argue. He's backing up the talk, right? He's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. And it's not even him talking. I feel the same way about Jet and Hunter that I do about Hayden. It's not them talking. It's everybody on TV doing the talking for them. But they back it up. So what can we say? You know, it's hard for them to talk about something else when these guys are just whooping on everybody. But yeah, man, that would have been a very easy night for Hunter to just mail it in, take a second, or whatever happens. But no, he wanted no parts of that. He went out there and executed to a T, took another win. I think that thing is all but wrapped up at this point, barring some extremely unfortunate incident. That title is all but wrapped up already, and there's still 5 to go, I think, for them. 4 or 5 to go for them. Congratulations to Hunter Lawrence. Congratulations. Extremely impressive, man. Yeah, I got nothing else to say about it. But much like Daytona, the main course of the evening was that 450 class, man. From the heat races to the main event, that little Barsha Roczen battle in their heat race, Chase getting by everybody and winning his heat race. I thought we were in for a wild show, and we were definitely in for a wild show. We get to the main event, and the way that they started, I was like, oh my God, it happened. Eli Tomac buried in the pack, Chase and Cooper both up front. Bro, we could come out of here like 3-way tied for the points or something crazy like that, right? It's possible. Now, at the beginning of the race, and you see the way they kind of file in, you expect Eli's going to make up some ground. He'll probably end up 4th or 5th or something like that, right? Maybe even further up. He didn't make up any ground at all. He didn't look comfortable at all, which is kind of odd, you know? It reminds me a little bit of Tampa, but this is different. Again, experience and bike skill shined all night long, except for Eli. Kind of strange. Chase, bro, you're killing me. And I know it's no comparison to what it's doing to you inside. I just hate it for the kid, man. Good Lord. So fast. Fastest in qualifying. I feel like they don't even need to do qualifying anymore. They can pretty much guess the order at this point. Just put the 23 first and shuffle everybody else in behind him. That's pretty much all it is. Although I will say that that yellow 94 there, with about 2 minutes left to go in the second qualifier, moved into second, a 1/10 of a second off of Chase, who has been almost a second faster than the entire field every weekend. A 1/10 of a second? Between that and Kenny's heat race, I was like, we just might be lucky and get into some, we just might have a show tonight. I don't know. You never know. But it gave me a little inkling, right? I think everybody had the feeling, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen tonight. But yeah, Chase, just so bummed. He was in second. He definitely had the speed to get Kenny. There's no doubt about that. He had the speed to win that race. And the mistake that he made, you guys are probably going to kill me for it. It's just so easy to make. It's so easy to make. I was watching Carmichael and Villapoto's podcast. Villapoto said, there's no way that rut changed that much in one lap. Did you see the pictures from press day? If you got 20 bikes, and let's say 10 of them, 12 of them, take that rut, absolutely it changes that much in one lap. Yes. I mean, to pretend otherwise, like, you know better, you know? That's the part that really irritates me. But anyways, he should have known better. Other people were staying away from that rut for that reason, and you saw what happened. It was just too deep. He leaned over a tiny bit too much. His foot pegs caught and yeeted him over the bars. Just hate it for the kid. He ended up fighting back to 10th place, and he's still not out of it. But that was an absolutely golden opportunity just wasted. A golden opportunity wasted for the 23. Cooper, Mr. Cooper WEBB, I thought was going to win the race also. After Chase went down, I thought Cooper was winning that race. Like, Kenny's going to see it's Cooper behind him. We all know the history there. We all know how this plays out. Just go ahead and end my misery, right? Go ahead and pass Kenny and ruin my hopes and dreams. But no, man. Barsha. Bro. What a sleeper, just rocket ship all year long. He has been so fast all year long. I told you guys in Daytona, somebody was debating with me in the comments. They didn't think I was right. Barsha had the speed to win Daytona. Period. He had the speed to win an Indy. Period. When it is extremely sketchy, you have to realize Barsha's soul is extremely sketchy. Like he's comfy sketchy. If that's a thing, it's Barsha, bro. Like, he was ripping, man. He got by Cooper, and then Cooper just kind of slowly faded. He hung with him for a while, actually. I take that back. He hung with him for a while, and then I guess he made a little mistake towards the end of the main, ended up falling back almost 10 seconds on Justin. But that pressure that Barsha put on Kenny, man, Barsha looked amazing again. I think he's going to get a win before this season's over, and I would not have said that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Barsha looks awesome. Really happy to see it. I've told you guys before, I grew up watching Barsha race. I grew up walking by his pit. Like, he was always at the same tracks I was at. So it's just really cool to see him get back in the fight, you know? It's not easy for those guys when you're supposed to be a contender and you're 6th, 7th, 8th place every weekend. It's not easy up here. It's not easy. Amazing ride from Mr. Cianciarillo. Best ride of the year, I think. Bike skill, again. Christian Craig, Mr. Ruts himself, was not surprised to see him have his best night of the year. He passed Eli. He passed Eli right before the checkered flag to take 7th. Huge congratulations to Christian, to AC. The Hill boys. Justin Hill finished 9th. Josh Hill finished 11th. Bike skill, baby. I told you, man. Experience and bike skill dominated that track. Eli was just kind of the strange outlier. It was kind of weird. But I guess you could probably chalk it up to they don't have that bike dialed in for a track like that yet, I guess. I don't know. He's just looked so good other places. Time will tell. Time will tell. But, bro, we all know the story of the night, the story of the season. I don't know that this will be topped, regardless of who wins the championship. The story of the season. Was that a spaceship that won the race? Oh, no. It was a Suzuki. It was a Shishuki. Kickstart Trucking Kenny. Bro, I was this close. Anybody that was at the watch party can vouch. I was this close to having a grown man meltdown on camera. It hit me like a ton of bricks, man. Any of you that have been through, I'm not comparing, but like really dark adversity, right? Things that most people said you won't be able to come back from just based on history. For anybody that's fought back from those things, Kenny's story is like the most inspirational thing in moto for me. He shouldn't even be racing after what happened in 17. He should not be racing. The fact that he's been contending every year, it just bike skill and experience, man. Hands down, one of the greatest bike skills that we have ever seen in the history of dirt bikes. Period. You can't argue that. Kenny is one of the most talented riders that we have ever seen. I didn't say the most, but you cannot argue. He is on a short list of the greatest dirt bike riders that we've ever seen. What an absolutely legendary night, man. I will literally never forget that. I will never forget that. Funny enough, I happened to be thinking it, but somebody in my chat brought it up. They said it reminded them of when Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500. I'm like, yes. That was exactly what I was thinking of. When he laid that bike down and all of his competitors, guys that don't even speak on a regular basis, all of his competition was coming up and hugging him, congratulating him, grabbing him by the head. Really, really heartfelt moment between AC. Who can relate? who can relate to Kenny's story better than AC? They're great friends on top of that. But from a relatability standpoint, AC knows exactly what Kenny has gone through. Awesome moment. Too bad Chase didn't have a better night, because I think Chase probably would have tackled him in excitement for Kenny. But I'm sure Chase was licking his wounds. I'm sure he said something to him. I have no doubts about that. But really rough nights for Chase, so I understand that. But Chisholm, I mean, they're teammates and good friends, so not too surprising. But that image, that scene of Ken Roczen laying his bike down, just completely letting the emotion out, and all of his competition. For anybody that knows what I'm talking about Dale Earnhardt winning that Daytona 500, it was that to the 10th power. Every single race team came and stood on pit lane while Dale just creeped down pit lane and shook every person's hand. Every human being involved in the competition went out to congratulate him. That doesn't happen. Losing sucks at that level. They are all hired to win. They all feel like they should be winning. That does not happen at that level, man. That was, and Ken said it, I have never seen that happen in motocross ever. Maybe you guys can tell me about a time that I don't remember. I don't remember that ever happening. What a legendary, iconic image that I will absolutely never forget. I can close my eyes right now and see Dale Earnhardt rolling down pit lane, and just the whole vibe, how intense that was, how overwhelming that all was. It was the same thing with Kenny. I will never forget that, man. I will never forget that. I could not possibly be happier for Ken Roczen. The most massive, largest congratulations possible to you, Ken Roczen, to Courtney, to the boy, to everybody involved, to the whole team. I mean, it was the team's first ever win, right? I mean, you dream about that when you bring on a guy like Ken Roczen, but the likelihood of that happening year one on a forgotten motorcycle, the last time Suzuki won was Ken Roczen in 2016, bro. 7 years ago. Just remarkable. Unbelievable. It's corny, it's cliche, it's whatever. I am literally grateful. I am so grateful that I was alive to witness that. What a special night. What a special moment. These watch parties? I mean, what the hell's going to happen next weekend? These watch parties are goated, bro. The first ever watch party, Hayden Deegan's first ever podium. The second ever watch party, Ken Roczen wins a race on a space shuttle. Like, what's going on? What's going to happen next weekend? You know? Man, just so exciting. Such an awesome story. I can't get over it, man. I really can't. He takes the Kickstarter on the podium and he's waving it around. Oh, bro. Just unbelievable stuff. So happy for him. Cooper Webb leaves with the red plate. That's how I feel about that. So, yes, it's only 1 point. And if anybody can not care and just keep grinding away and whatever, it's Eli Tomac. We are by no means done. We might see that plate switch hands every weekend from here until Salt Lake City. That wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. I'd love to see Chase get back in the fight. But after this weekend, look, I just don't know how realistic that is, right? I don't know how realistic that is, unfortunately. But yeah, man. What a night. What a night. That was so much fun. Again, I appreciate everybody coming by the watch party. Really thank you to all of you guys coming to hang out. It's a lot of fun. Please subscribe and turn on the bell so you know when we go live next weekend. I'm going to tell you right now, when we get to outdoors, that yellow bike, keep your eyes on that 94. I just have this feeling. He showed some flashes at Daytona. He had a pretty bad main because he got a terrible start. And if you got a terrible start at Daytona, it was GG's. It was over. It was a wrap. Keep your eyes out for that 94 in outdoors. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be special. I'm just saying, we could have a four-headed monster just going at each other's necks between Jet, Tomac, Chase, and Kenny. And when we're talking about bike skill and experience, Tomac and Kenny, I mean, they go back a decade plus at this point. So anyways, man, amazing racing, amazing night at Indy. Thank you to everybody who came to the watch party and hung out. Hope to see y'all back this weekend for Detroit Motor City, man. That's going to be an amazing race. That track is kind of a toss-up. It's almost never the same 2 years in a row. It's either going to be West Coast-ish and hard-packed, or sometimes it does rut up, but I guess it kind of depends on the weather they're having. But it's Detroit, man. It's Detroit. So it could be kind of similar to Indy. I don't know. I don't know. I looked at the track layout. Nothing too crazy. They go back and forth over the start a few times with just some short shoots. But should be another great night. So I hope to see you guys there. I appreciate you hanging out. Make sure you like this video for me. It really helps the channel when you do that. And yeah, I'll see y'all in just a couple days, man. Until then, peace.